This series is amazing. 21 pages per chapter just isn't enough. With that being said, the chapter itself focuses on Hina after she confesses her feelings of love towards Taiki. Hello everyone and welcome. This is Anime Awakening and today we're here to talk about chapter 44 of the Blue Box manga series. A chapter that talks about the confession of Hina towards Taiki, while also making us feel a little bit more sorry for Chinatsu with that ending. So then, with that ending, the chapter leaves us with the scene of Chinatsu seeing Taiki and Hina interacting together. Obviously, Chinatsu has just returned home from nationals, and possibly overheard Hina talking about her confession working like a charm. The mood and atmosphere of this series shifts dramatically from a comedic one to a heartbreaking and sad vibe. This could result in either one or two outcomes for our main female protagonist in Chinatsu. Outcome number one I can see happening would be Chinatsu returning home acting like she never saw a thing, but continues to act distant and be sad when no one else is around, until of course something happens that clears up this misunderstanding. Unfortunately, if this outcome were to happen, it would lead to a short while of Chinatsu thinking badly about Taiki, as she already suspects Taiki of lying to her about being on a date with Hina. Because of the whole fireworks fiasco, Taiki still hasn't cleared that misunderstanding up yet. Outcome number two. The situation could force Chinatsu to confront her own feelings and find a way to work towards them and express them in a way that only she knows how to do. I'm not saying she'll confess to Taiki, but maybe with tiny steps, she might show some fight for her man that she has feelings for. If Chinatsu were to confront her own feelings, I would like it if Karen actually helped her to do so. We know that both of those characters are friends and they've known each other for a very long time. Plus, with both Taiki and Chinatsu having an odd relationship that somewhat resembles both Haru and Karen's relationship, I think Karen would be a great role model to help Chinatsu soul search and help her work out what it is she's actually feeling towards Taiki. Now sticking with Chinatsu, but turning to the topic of basketball, Chinatsu's team lost at Nationals, and the emotions that were displayed were incredible. Loved the artwork, it was super amazing. The line that she says where it didn't come true, could this be referring to chapter 38 where Taiki added all of those wishes to the ankle bracelets? Now of course, if this is the case, it could also link to why Taiki is suddenly feeling guilty after hearing about Chinatsu losing. Of course, during their conversation in chapter 38, Chinatsu said, "Aren't you adding a bit too much to it?" And Taiki was like, no, it's fine. All of that sort of thinking pairs nicely with the fact that the ankle bracelet that Chinatsu wore during her match breaks. Of course, that's amazing symbolism for her dream sort of shattering about Nationals, because obviously she lost and is out of the tournament. But again, I find it really strange how Chinatsu didn't try to fix the bracelet, because if we look at the final panel, it wasn't on her ankle. Intriguing. So moving along, seeing Taiki's reaction after having Hina confess to him was perfect, as to me it felt rather realistic. Taiki has always loved Chinatsu, and even Hina acknowledges that fact within this chapter. And Taiki has also been encouraged by Karen to also talk to Chinatsu, and that's what he was planning to do moving forward. But of course this actually throws a bit of a swerve in his plan to do so. The fireworks festival situation obviously needs clearing up, and Taiki was waiting for Nationals to be over so that he could obviously tell Chinatsu that misunderstanding and clear things up. But of course he's now got this issue to overcome. What Taiki does after this love confession will show how strongly he feels about Chinatsu in terms of love. Because if he does actually say to Hina, "I reciprocate your feelings, I want to go out with you," or something along those lines, then it proves that Taiki's feelings towards Chinatsu were very weak, and that would be very surprising. Also, the way that Taiki was acting in terms of not wanting to see Hina at the gym was again quite realistic, as being put in a situation like this, you are obviously going to be nervous because you don't really know what to say to the person that you're meant to be giving an answer to. Imagine being confessed to, but not answering that person, having a bit of time to think over what they've asked you, but then straight afterwards you're paired up on a project with that person. That level of awkwardness that you would be feeling is exactly what Taiki is going through right now. I was actually really surprised that Taiki figured out some of the times that Hina could have had feelings for him within the past. For example, he thinks about the firework festival. He also thinks about when Hina calls him cool, and also when Taiki used the word cute to describe Hina. Taiki has been rather dense when it comes to many different emotions from different characters, but this chapter, he did okay with that regard. Overall, I really liked Taiki's display from this chapter. Again, I felt it was realistic, I thought it was quite funny at times, but at the same time, it was still quite serious. It wasn't like falling on the floor laughing, but it was like a, haha, okay, yep, I get that. That's the type of vibe I got from Taiki, and I really want to see how he handles and tackles this situation moving forward. But enough about Taiki, let's talk about Hina. Because I've noticed ever since chapter 29, when Taiki told Hina and Kyo that him and Chinatsu were a little bit off with each other, Hina has been acting bolder and bolder. Of course, the first example would be the fireworks festival. When sort of asking Taiki out to the fireworks festival, she intended for it to be just the two of them. Next, at the actual festival, she wore an amazing yukata and kind of made herself look really pretty for Taiki. The third thing, obviously, during the period of the fireworks festival ending and nationals, she was quite quiet, quite sort of focused, but that obviously is up to the debate of gymnastics and Taiki both being important to her. Then, of course, we have After Nationals, which is this chapter and the previous one, in where she actually confessed her love to him. So since chapter 29, Hina has saw her chances, and she's taken them with pride. Hina's dialogue has also been amazing throughout this particular chapter. Her stating that she knows that Taiki likes Chinatsu, but still needs to tell him, is showing a sign of respect towards Taiki. Whereas Hina saying don't look at me as a friend but instead of a girl that loves you shows that Hina is serious about what she is saying, despite giving Taiki respect and time to clear his head and think of his answer. Even at the school gym, the line "just remember that I am in love with you" with a serious expression on her face is Hina warning Taiki to be careful, because any word or action could hurt Hina emotionally, especially if Taiki continues to chase after Chinatsu. The likelihood of Hina still being friendly around Chinatsu now after confessing is very slim. We used to have Hina previously in chapters where she would help Taiki learn information about Chinatsu or any other situation that Taiki needs. Now, of course, when it comes to Chinatsu, like for example in chapter 3, she asked Chinatsu about a boyfriend. Those situations are never going to happen again from this point onwards. Hina and Chinatsu are going to be love rivals, and honestly, I'm quite excited to see where this will go. I'm interested to see how the friendship dynamic would work between Hina and Taiki, if they'll still have these goofy interactions between each other moving forward. I'm really happy that Hina doubled down on her love confession in this chapter, as something like this doesn't tend to happen too early on within a romance series. So I really thought it was a refreshing breath of fresh air seeing this within Blue Box. Plus, it opens up a new way to develop all the characters that are involved. Hina's expressions throughout the encounter with Taiki this chapter were phenomenal, as they all showed a different reaction that just expressed her feelings excellently. The artwork and detail put into them were superb. Also, when it came to the confession, Hina's delivery was very calm and collective, while keeping a good balance between goofy comedy and serious that was needed to create a realistic and honest vibe with that confession. Superbly done. The last thing I need to talk about regarding this chapter is the cover image. This looks stunningly beautiful, and it's possibly, if not my favourite cover art from the series so far. It's got this summer/vacation-like vibe with the image, as if someone was with Chinatsu taking her photo. It's stylish, it shows off the character design superbly, plus the station background blends into the image really well also. Overall, I really like this chapter. It was very emotional and it left me personally in pain because I felt sorry for Chinatsu as she watched Hina and Taiki's interaction without much context. As well as the fact is, she had just only returned from losing nationals, so things really aren't looking good for our main female character. So I'm hoping she does get something happy to be happy about moving forward. Please also don't leave Chinatsu. I know your parents are across seas and you were living with Taiki so that you can go to nationals, and now that's over and now you think your relationship with Taiki might be over. Don't leave. There is still something to fight for. Showcase that. Anyways, I mentioned already the artwork. The characters were fantastic, and those are my thoughts on this episode. I hope you've enjoyed this review. If you have, hit that like button, comment your thoughts down below, and subscribe for more Blue Box content. Let me know your thoughts on the chapter, and have a great day. Alligator matinee. Goodbye.